So I'm really looking forward to our conversation. But let me start with this young kid, what, 9? It comes to the United States of America. America is in many ways one big immigrant story.
Yeah.
Very different stories, but one big story of people who come seeking a better life, people who believe that their children are going to do better. So talk about arriving here. It couldn't have been easy.
I was born in Taiwan. When I was 5, my father got a job in Thailand to help start an oil refinery. And so we moved to Thailand. We were there for about 4 years. In 1973, there was a coup, as it happens every now and then. And my parents thought it was unsafe for us to be there. My older brother was 1 year older than me. He was 10, I was 9. My parents wanted to send us out as soon as possible. And so they got our uncle, who lives in Washington, Tacoma, Washington, to take us for a little while. My first impression was I'd never stood in a house with carpets before. And it was the strangest feeling. I felt like I was walking on my bed with my shoes on. and just everything from Serial and the morning television, Speed Racer, and in the afternoon Partridge Family, and all the candy, the Snickers bars, everything was like I couldn't imagine what this amazing country was. And everything was so beautiful. The cars, everything was just incredible. And we were in Tacoma, Washington for about 3 months. And then they sent us to the most affordable, accessible boarding school in America because my parents couldn't afford much. A wonderful school. They welcomed students of all backgrounds, many from difficult homes, some international kids, and that's how we were able to come. They sponsored us and allowed us to come to the United States and stay in that boarding school. And I was there for about 2 years in Oneida, Kentucky.
I have never heard of Oneida, Kentucky till this particular moment.
If you look at Oneida, Kentucky in Google Maps, the beautiful thing is there's nothing around it. It's just one little dot. I think when I was there, it was probably population 600. It's probably population 600 now. Beautiful, incredible. I had a wonderful childhood there. It was very difficult and very scary coming to the United States by yourself, but it's amazing what my older brother did, frankly. I just followed him around. He was 10 years old. Could you imagine a 10-year-old bringing along a 9-year-old? Traveled all the way from Thailand, never been to the United States, landed in Tacoma, Washington, and went to Kentucky, but laid over in Chicago.
Oh my goodness.
The airport, Chicago airport is gigantic.
Yeah,
and so we had to go find a connecting flight, and he a 10-year-old did all that by himself. My older brother's incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this was risky in a lot of ways, but your parents felt that the greater risk would be to stay where you were. How were you treated? Were people friendly? Were they surprised? How did that part of it go?
1973 United States, in Kentucky, there were still biases, and nobody had. The school had never seen a Chinese kid before.
Right.
Wonderful kids there, but none of them ever seen a Chinese before, and so there were all of the things that comes along with, being a stranger in a town where nobody's ever seen someone like you before. And so there's a lot of biases and, of course, things like that. But kids are kids. And so for us at the time, United States was amazing. And I was part of the swim team, and I was part of the soccer team. And the food was interesting. And, sausage and gravy, who wouldn't like that? Hamburgers. And after the swim meet, the coach just took us to the most amazing restaurant in the world. And the food came in boxes, and the menu was all lit up, and and we sat in a restaurant that seemed like a spaceship, and it was McDonald's.
McDonald's, right?
And so I think it's really all about expectations in life. When you came from an even more difficult circumstance, that's the thing about immigrants, is that when you come to America, you came because of choice. You wanted to be here. My dad sent us here, but in fact, when I was 4 years old, he had the opportunity to come to be trained in the United States, and turned out the place he came to was New York.
Oh,
Could you imagine to come to the United States and it's New York City from Taiwan in the 60s. And so he always said that he wanted his family to eventually come to America, to come to this incredible place. So the thing that's really great about immigrants is you came with very little expectation. You came with great hopes and dreams. You appreciate everything.
And with a sense of gratitude for where you are and the new opportunities.
Exactly. And this miracle that you're witnessing, I remember very clearly what it's like to see America for the first time. This miracle and all these people and how welcoming they are. And
to see it through those eyes. But then, of course, you go from this little kid in Kentucky. You're on the swim team. The soccer. It sounds like you were doing okay.
I was a good athlete. Yeah, I was a good athlete.